All right, everybody. So this is part two. I'm kind of gonna go over a few things about what we're gonna do on this video, and just kind of jump into some of the other things that I've done so far, and then some of the extra parts I've gotten since. All right, so got some of the stuff out of the way. I don't really need to do anything else with the radiator. That's why it's like that. But it is what it is. It's fine. We did get the crank bolt out because we are gonna pin the crank now. So let me get everything ready, and then we'll kind of go over how you do it. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and put the wheel, or whatever the hell you want to call this thing, in here. Then put the crank or the bolt in. You don't need to crank this down, you just need to get it tight enough that it's going to hold that lower piece in and hold it tight. Not sure I have a hex that big. I know I have one, but just make sure it'll use a lot of fluid. Ooh, that's hot. All right, well, she's in. Thank God that's done. All right, so now that the crank is pinned, I've pulled the old belt off because we are going to put the new tensioner in. So I've never done one of these kits before, so if it doesn't look like I know what I'm doing, I probably don't, because I've never done these. So just figuring it out on my own, basically. So yeah, I think we got to remove those 3 water pump bolts, and we'll kind of see from there what else I got to do. So I did a different power steering cooler to get that other one out of the way, and it was crusty, so we did that. I also remounted the trans cooler because it was mounted to that like rusty frame thing. So this is just temporary. Probably this winter I'm going to be doing a different cooler setup, but we'll get into that later. So I ran the lines to that, and then intercooler mounts. So I was going to use these things, but they're so flimsy you can just bend them like nothing. So I decided we're not going to use those, we're going to find something better. So I got these bad boys. They are a lot thicker, they're stronger, they're not going to flex. It's moving because this isn't tight, but yeah, going to use that as the intercooler mount, and then that'll be good. So we're going to try and get that mounted today. So that's one of the things we're going to try and do, is get the intercooler mounted. Coming over here, let's go over some of the other things I've gotten. So got some, this is for the fuel line that we're going to run today. This is for the heat exchanger down to the, or up to the lid. I got a throttle body, some new sensors for the throttle body, heat exchanger pump. I'm going to try and get that in today. E85 sensor with the pigtail. We have the fittings, fuel pressure regulator, some more fittings, and we have the fuel pump and everything that goes with it. I am currently doing that. I have a video on how to do the fuel pump, so if you want to watch that, you can. But I've got the tank out. I'm about to pull the sending unit and kind of go from there with the pump. This is my first time doing this one, so I'm gonna just kind of wing it with how the pump is gonna go. And I also need to put the bulkhead fitting for the return line on top of it. So let's get to it and get started. All right, so a little update on where we're at now. I do have the fuel tank out. I just put a bag over it because it was starting to stink like fuel. Like I said, if you haven't seen my video on the GTO fuel pump, it is up on my channel, so you can go ahead and check that out. But yeah, we got the sending unit out of there. Everything's all in pieces. So here we have it. This is not going to be used anymore. This is the old fuel pump. And what we need to do with the actual sending unit is we're gonna have to cut like this piece out, so basically enlarge this hole, and then the new fuel pump's gonna go in there. We gotta wire it up because it's a different connector, but we're gonna still use the stock one so we can have a sending unit. So yeah, we're just gonna keep trucking. All right, let's go. All right, skipping ahead a little bit here. I pretty much have everything together on the sending unit. I'll walk you through a little bit of what I did, but it's all together, trying to get this done quickly, just get as much done as I can. So, all right, here's the unit. It's got the Hellcat fuel pump in there now, as well as the return drilled in. So what I had to do was cut most of that out. There was like this is the OE fuel pressure regulator. So basically cut that whole section out. On the bottom here, like drilled that all out. Same thing on this. I basically took a small drill bit, drilled another bit bigger, and basically up until this fit. So, because I didn't want to crack it or anything by just going with the huge drill bit at once, because I believe this is an 8AN, if I'm correct. So it needs a decent sized hole. All we have left to do, just put the fuel sock on there, and then the other thing we need to do is connect a hose from here. And then we basically need to separate that fitting from this hose, and then we'll use the other end on there so that we can plug it in, throw the bucket back on, throw it back in, put it together. All right, let's get to it. All right, so we've had a lot done. I'm gonna kind of go over everything and like how I did it, because this is the biggest part of this build, or the most time, taking part. So let's get to it. We already put the fuel pump in the back here. That's the return line. I still have to tighten that down, but I'm gonna need to cut like a slot in that top piece for that. So still working on that, but ran it down there, and it basically runs the whole length of the car where the actual like OEM fuel lines are. So it's strapped up with the OEM fuel lines, and then it comes up there, goes down into the bottom of the regulator there, and then let's see, we have over here we have our feed line, so that goes down, comes around, goes into the regulator. Then we have the line from the regulator, goes down, up. There's our flex fuel sensor. And then I have the other line here, but for whatever reason, let's see if I still have it out over here. Yeah, so this is used so you can connect like a fuel line to an AN. The problem is, I don't know if there's just different sizes, but the blue clip that I got in this one is smaller than the other one, so it won't clip on. And then I can't find my other one, so I'm just gonna order another set of those, and then that line will just basically hook into those two spots there and then on the rail. So with that being said, fuel system is complete. Next up, we're gonna mount the supercharger. I didn't think I would get this far this fast, but here we are. These have rivet style gaskets, so I'm gonna do that. Yeah, so basically you just rivet there and there on both sides, and then it's got a gasket. I don't know why it's that way, but it is what it is. All right, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get the blower mounted, and then that may be it for tonight.